next up, I want to talk about Zelda.
We never got a chance to. We never all got to talk about Zelda after we all saw Zelda.
We talked about it. We did the.
But it was before I saw it. It's before I went. I played it afterwards.
Oh, you did too?
Yeah.
Awesome.
We've all played Zelda.
Tell me what you guys thought.
I liked it. I wish the demo was a bit more like, all right, you're into this section now, and here's how it's going to work when you talk to people. Let's talk to a Gorgon or whatever and go do something like that. Instead, it was, all right, you're just in this open area for 15 minutes, run around, figure out the controls, and then start from pretty much the start of the game and play through. And so I had to leave a little bit early, so I did the first thing where I got the spire out of the ground, and then I had a jet or whatever. Mm. But enjoyed what I played. Like, I'm excited for that game. I do want to play Zelda. It seems like it's interesting. I like the idea of how Link just wakes up after being asleep for, what is it, hundreds of years? Did they even say? 100 years? You wake up there and you're like ready to roll out and go, and you got a little tablet and you're putting it in everything. Okay, tablets are dumb. Wii U tablets dumb, but whatever. I'm there. I'm ready.
The thing I like about the tablet is I was worried about that when I first saw it. And there was rumors on the internet over the last year or whatever since they showed that first image where you saw it.
Yeah.
And it worried me that I'm like, oh great, this is definitely gonna be gamepad.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a huge part of it. No, I think it's just more of an aesthetic thing.
Agree.
When you use
100%
it, it's
agree.
just a fancy looking map.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, cool. Doesn't seem like there's gonna be more functionality than that. So
yeah,
that's exciting.
No, I enjoyed what I saw. The fire effects looked cool. I like the idea of cooking food and doing all that stuff. I like the idea of it being an open world Zelda. I mean, it won't be, obviously, I think it was pretty clear, it won't be as fulfilling or as dense as Witcher or as Skyrim or anything like that. But I'm still down. Okay, cool. I'm going to climb up there and then I'm going to jump on my shield and ride it down like a surfboard. But that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's the most exciting thing to me is that all the physics-based stuff, and I like that it is just kind of a big sandbox. And it's less open world in the traditional sense of like, here's a whole bunch of different tasks for you to do. And it is more like the original Zelda where it's just go.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of different stuff. You kind of figure out what you want to do. And I like that you can cut down the trees and they fall in different ways. So there's the physics there. But then, also you can get on the shield and use it as a snowboard. To go down the hills and stuff. And it's just like, it's one of those games that makes you think, can I do that? Let me try. Oh shit, I can.
Yeah.
And that's cool because it's been a while since I've experienced something like that, especially in a Zelda game. Zelda games have been so kind of just, rinse and repeat, same thing over and over, which is why I'm happy that the demo wasn't what you were talking about. Where it's like, here, you're in a dungeon, go do the thing.
It's just that it's left me with this feeling, right, where I enjoyed the demo, but I really haven't thought about it since then. I didn't find the demo remarkable or mind-blowing. Like it's fun. Sure, yeah, I'm totally in for another Zelda. I want to play another Zelda, but I haven't been sitting here being like, man, that was an awesome part and I want to play that, but I want to go do that.
Man, I got the demo excited me, but what got me really going is afterwards, like after post E3, being able to look at everyone else's demos and everyone else's gameplay footage that they posted and just reading about it. The stuff that I didn't see because the demo is huge is crazy. There's so many different weapons you can pick up. You can use any weapon that the enemies drop and stuff.
Right.
In my demo, I got to use the little magnet thing a little bit. What I didn't know is that the magnet attaches to anything metal, including your weapon. So you can throw your sword, pull out the magnet thing, attach it to the sword, and then use your sword as a fucking far away sword.
Oh, far away sword, yeah. Better reach on your sword,
that's
sure, yeah.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool. That, you can do stuff like that. Because that seems like something that would be out of limitations,
Yeah, 100%.
So that's super exciting, and I like just kind of the system where there's the stamina.
Yeah.
So it's like you can climb anything, you can go anywhere, you can run whatever you want, or swim or whatever. But it's all based on the time of that. And obviously, as the game goes on, I'm sure
you get more. Yeah, you level it up.
I think that's a really smart way to kind of contain the world and have it be open and very non-linear, and you can kind of go wherever you want straight from the start.
Yeah.
While still limiting you from going to the final.
I agree with
boss
that 100%. Like I think it's a really cool idea. Where it was too, where I at one point I jumped in. And into the water, and I started swimming, and he's like, "I'm never gonna make it." The guy next to me, and then I'm like, "I'll make it," and then I died. I was like, "Well, next time," and I couldn't do it then. I'm like, "All right, well, I'm not supposed to reach that now." You know what I mean? Like, it's clearly teaching me I'm not supposed to be doing that right now, and that's how you figure it out.
Yeah, and I also like that it's Zelda enough, and it's also different enough to keep me interested and be like, "Oh shit!" Like they're giving us what we asked for. Really.
See, I feel like that's what I'm gonna get when I sit down and play with it and go through a straight playthrough. But yeah, for this gameplay demo, it felt like, okay, cool. This is what I was looking for, and I think it's pretty. I don't think it's gorgeous. I think there's not a lot happening in the environments. People have been arguing about this online if the game's beautiful or not. I think the art style is beautiful. I like the world of it, but it is definitely sparse environments in certain sections and
I mean, it's every last gen overall. The sparse environment thing, I'm not too hung up on because
I'm not hung up on any of it. None of this is like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck this game. It's just like, oh,
Because I would rather there not be stuff than just, all right, here's NPCs that have nothing really to say, but they're there.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I like that it is more like the wilderness. There isn't people just everywhere.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
I like that it kind of just, everything feels like it doesn't necessarily need to tell you a story, but there's a story to be made if you want there to be. And
Right.
I like the little pirate coves or whatever, where it's like there's enemies and there's 100 shrines to go find and all that stuff. And I like that it's like that stuff feels more important when there's not a bunch of random shit going on.
Agreed
you
with
know?
that 100%. When you jump onto the map and you see how huge the map is, but you look at a section, you see all the different skulls and treasure chests, like, oh, I can totally see this being a Ubisoft game or a Shadow of Mordor, where I set off and I'm going to go one by one to the, I'll get to the story or whatever, but I'm going to instead go try to clear out all these different things.
Mm-hmm. I like that it's a really different approach, and the weather system and having to use the different clothes and different armor and all that stuff.
Giving you a reason to change.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of annoying because I was always a blue tunic Link.
No, of course.
And once I got that water tunic, I was rocking it all the
He
time.
looks dope as fucking his armor though.
Yeah, he does look cool. Yeah.
That's what's up. What about you, Cole?
I played it for about 15 minutes. Now the big caveat for me is that and this is fucking tone deaf Nintendo shit, is that you can't invert the y-axis in the demo. So like I could not play the game effectively like at all. And so I was like really struggling because I play inverted. So I was like really struggling. And this happens every so often, like where a demo is like, no, you can't invert Y. I'm like, you guys made a huge blunder on that one because we do exist.
We're breeding you out.
And so based on what I tried to like just play it, keeping the camera kind of like level, so that I didn't have to think about it too much. And what I found was a game that intrigued me a great deal. And I liked going into the menus and kind of, you could tell how much more robust the game is, not by the world necessarily, but by the menus.
Sure.
That there's like a deep there's a deep equipment currency in this game in terms of like you have lots of armor, there are lots of weapon choices, equipment and gear, and to me it was like, this is a real role playing game. This almost feels like Zelda's actually a real role playing game. I mean, we used to refer to Zelda as being a role playing game or having role playing game elements, but it really doesn't. It's really an action adventure game in its own way. It's a Zelda game. It's a Zelda game. There's a little bit of non-linearity. You find that in like Link to the Past. There's a little bit of like, obviously you're finding equipment, you can find things and not find things, or heart pieces. So there's a lot of collectibles and optional things. So the spirit's always been there, but it's never literally been a role-playing game in my mind. And this seems to be, with its Skyrim influence, where it's open world Western role-playing game influence, which is obvious. And I'm glad that they finally looked outside and found that other people were doing their games better, that they took that in. So when I was running around just for that brief time, fighting enemies and kind of just exploring this wooded area, this sparsely wooded area, I found that it was I agree. I think the art is really pretty. I think the direction is really pretty. The game is super dated looking. Anyone who thinks that game isn't dated looking, I don't know if we're looking at different games, but like the gameplay, it looks like a PlayStation 3 game. I mean, like for sure.
It looks
Is
like a
anyone
Wii U
arguing
game.
that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people bristle
yeah.
when you say that, of course.
Oh yeah, dude. I said that when I tweeted out. I was like, I played Zelda. It looks super dated, but I think it looks fun. I'm excited to play it, and I am. I'm gonna play it. I'm going to play that game. But people got really mad about that, and I'm like, dude, I just saw the game with my own fucking two eyes. Like, it looks like it was made 5-6 years ago, like for sure. So, but that doesn't matter. The content of the game, I feel like, is going to be there. And it made me intrigued about Zelda. I've been really down on Zelda because Skyward Sword, just from what I saw, I didn't feel it. And Twilight Princess is the real game I really got, my real mainline console game from the series that I really got my hands on and was like, I just don't like this game. And with even the handheld iterations, like I didn't really like Minish Cap. It was fine, but like Minish Cap was okay. The Spirit game, the Spirit Tracks, and whatever the fuck the other one was with the stylus on, I can't play games like that. So I just feel like Zelda wasn't being made for me for a long time. And when I played A Link Between Worlds, which I enjoyed, I was like, okay, this is great, but I've been to this world. I know this world. There's a nostalgic factor to this, but again, where is Zelda? Like, where is the Zelda we need and we want? And I feel like maybe this is that game. So I'm optimistic about it.
It brings back a sense of wonder to Zelda of what is over that hill, and you can mark anything and get there. So what will I find on that journey to that spot, which I think has been missing for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that I like the idea of them spreading their wings a little bit and making a different kind of Zelda game that I think is certainly going to be outside of their own comfort zone. And I think that's why this game has taken so long to make, and that could be why the game's so antiquated. Not only because it's running on Wii U, which is super underpowered, but because it's been gestating for so long as well. So. I'm interested to see like what the final product's like. I'm interested to see how long it is and robust it is. And the one thing I'll say that I walked away from with this above all else is, and I don't know if a lot of people out there can relate because I don't know how many people have been to Nintendo at E3 and played games there. They need to like not be up your ass when you're playing games at Nintendo. Like that was actually like my biggest takeaway is the actual experience of playing the game. No one did anything wrong. The people that I dealt with were very nice people. The man that was with me was a very nice man. That was how, but it's like, I've been playing games for 30 years almost. Like I'll figure it out. Like you're actually like putting a ton of pressure on me by standing over my shoulder and chattering in my ear and telling me what to do. Like just, if you're going to give me all this time, just go away. Like I'll figure it out. Like if I have a question, I'll ask you. You know, and I felt like it was I know this is a weird like insider gripe, but it was just like I just played Horizon the day before, and I figured it out. Like it took time, but I figured it out. It was complex, but and so that was it made me not want to sit there and like really learn because I'm like, this guy's judging me. He wants me to see certain things. I really just want to learn how to play the game myself. What I really learned about this new Zelda game too is that it's super complicated. Like that was the thing. I and he was trying to help me, but I was like, I could have just used a button map. That would have really been helpful to me. And
but
it was
did he
there.
Tell you about the wolf amiibo?
He did. He put it on the screen for me. Okay, but you know, it was just like, I hope Nintendo takes notes about this. I'm sure they don't care. They don't care about anything. But like, you know, let me just play. And if I have a question, I'll ask you. I'm going to play the game my own way and learn the mechanics my own way. And I just feel like I felt so much pressure where I feel like I would have enjoyed it even more if I didn't feel like I was having this person or these people around me like watching me everything I did as if I was going to run away with the Wii U console or something like that.
Well, someone tried to. You see that?
Oh, I'm sure that's not the first time. I'm sure.
Was it Logic? It was Logic.
That was probably Logic.
So that's just a minor insider gripe that I thought people would enjoy hearing because I only experienced that at Nintendo.
See, I feel like the thing was that in that 15 minutes, do whatever you want. They were doing that to me too. And then when it was like you started the game, they backed off. I think they wanted you to get the mechanics down to an extent.
Yeah, they seemed mad at me. They're like, all right, we'll go to the theater first. I'm like, I don't want to do any of that. Can we like just go upstairs and just like sit me at a kiosk and I'll play the game? Like I've played almost every Zelda game. I'll figure it out.
You missed the cool reveal though, because then the screen went away and they pulled up the thing and this door opened up and like, wow.
Yeah, it's just like we had scheduled. You had scheduled.
People melted.
You had kindly scheduled the things on our last day, and that wasn't in the original schedule. And I needed the time to do something else, so I actually had to go quickly anyway. I was only there for 15 or 20 minutes, but so that was just my minor gripe. But so my takeaways of Zelda is like, I think it's pretty, regardless of the fact that it looks dated. I think that the open world nature of it, although we've had open world Zelda since the very beginning, I think the very open world nature, I think will provide its own density, even though I think the game looks scarce. I think there will be its own density there. I think that if you looked at Skyrim the same way, you'll find that it's just as empty. It's just that there's little points of interest. I don't think you have to have this flooded fucking field of things going on all the time. So I agree with you there. And I'm really super intrigued by the complexity of the control scheme and the complexity of what you can do. Some of it makes sense. Some of it doesn't. Mapping sword, for instance, I think to a face button was weird, but and I'm sure you can remap things. And having the arrow, like you aim and shoot with the same button. Like there's certain things where I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. You have triggers, you can use those. So like I have to wrap my head around the way that they were doing things. And I think I'm right about the sword things. I think you draw it and slice it with the same things. I think I kept like thinking I would. I kept pulling shit out of my sack or whatever.
There were definitely buttons there that were weird that I was trying to do, going to what naturally would be there.
So I think totally no problem at all playing. I thought it felt great, like any Nintendo game does. It felt very intuitive to me and stuff.
Oh yeah,
I also said that Pro Controller compatible.
Cool. Yeah, that's what I'll play with because it didn't feel intuitive to me at all. I think it would have if I spent more time with it. And I was getting better at it. I was also just kept worrying about the fucking Y-axis over and over again. So yeah, pretty game. I think it's open for a good reason. There's a lot of mechanics there and a lot of equipment and RPG elements that I think Zelda much need. I think this is a revitalization that Zelda needs. I don't know that anyone's going to play it because it's going to be stranded on Wii U and we do not know the nature of NX and if anyone's going to be interested in buying it yet. I think that there might be interest. I think there might not be interest. So.
That'll be interest.
So we'll see. We'll find out. Remember that Skyward Sword is the last console Zelda and it didn't sell well. So and it was on its console with 100 million units. So they have much to prove here. I think a marketing blitz will be smart. I think that like letting people go hands on in Nintendo Store and other places. EB, Lola's losing her mind. She's really excited about Zelda. So yeah, I was happy to play it. I was really honored to play it. It was cool. It was like a nice little reveal for me. I didn't expect that I was gonna have time to do it. So thanks for setting that up.
No sweat.
But yeah, also that little insider thing about, just leave me alone and let me do my thing. Tell me I can put the wolf amiibo on there. I don't care. No one cares about amiibo and that functionality.
I'm excited to see what NX changes because I think that it can make a game that I'm already excited about even better. I think that if it gives me 1080, if it gives me 60, cool. Because this was 720. And I think that that's an obvious thing. They're showing this game and it is running on Wii U. So we're not going to get the the ultimate version of an ultimate experience of it. But I think
Well,
the
if you
NX
had the
really-
NX right now and you had Zelda right now, you could take it with you on the plane.
who
with
knows?
that little controller,
Who the
you'd be
hell
all
knows?
set.
I thought it looked great. I'm super excited about it, and it looks like a simplified version of a lot of these games that I don't want to play because it looks like too much of an investment. But this looks like it has the dumbed down systems that I want to get into it, where it's like it's not overwhelming in a bad way. It's hey, here's this. What's overwhelming is the size and scope of it all, but it's things that I want to do, and it's not stuff that I feel like is chores to get done.
Yeah.
It's new. I mean, what's cool is that this is new for Zelda. You know, like this is I still feel like the most open Zelda we ever had was the original. And when you really think about it and get down to brass tacks, and you don't think about Zelda in terms of its aesthetic or its feel, but rather its scope. Like the original Zelda was really super open and super nonlinear in its own way. And I don't know that we've gotten that. We had that a little bit with Zelda 2, but not much. And we had that like a little bit with Link to the Past in the Dark World, and we had that a little bit with Ocarina of Time and a little bit with Majora's Mask. But like we never had this like massive like world where it's like we're not going to tell you or gate anything off. Like you'll figure it out. Like you could really go to almost any corner of the map in the original Zelda if you wanted to, as long as you had bombs and stuff like that. So like I feel like this is the game. This almost seems to capture the spirit, ironically and interestingly, of the original Zelda, which I think is a super fucking good game. So
I mean, that was the point.
Yeah.
Anuma was talking about how that one image, the original image from the instruction manual from the first Zelda, like that was the total inspiration for this game, and you can totally see it visually and just in terms of the scope and the gameplay elements and all that stuff. And they did an interview recently with Reggie, and he was saying that like, you can beat the game without even having much of the story elements at all, and I think that's cool. I like that it's just like do whatever the hell you want, tell your own story. I also think that they're taking a lot of the classic Zelda elements like bombs and stuff. I don't know if you guys got to
use them,
this a bit, but instead of just being the normal bombs that we know, there's two different types of bombs. One rolls with the whole physics-based stuff. Another one is more of a square block that you just kind of put down, like lay as a trap for when the enemies come by and stuff. And it's just like little tiny tweaks like that, I think really kind of flesh out the world and explain to you the type of direction that they want you to go, but then let you go whatever direction you want. I think that's the most important thing. I like being able to push the rocks and have it roll down the hill and like crush people. And they teach you how to do that so that later on, I'm sure in the game, there'll be much more advanced things where you get to play with the physics and all that stuff. And in the same way that old Zelda's taught you, if there's a crack in a wall, bomb it. There's a secret in there. Anytime there's water and stuff, when you have the magnet, like already I know, search the water. There's probably some metal thing in there that I can pick up to complete a bridge that I can walk across to get a treasure chest and all that stuff. And I'm very, 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 very excited about this game. I gave it one of my 3 game of the show for E3, and I definitely think it would be my top one overall of those 3.
Ooh.
So stay tuned. Zelda.
X gonna give it to you.